We're doing a 3-round NFL mock draft. I'm drafting as the AFC West. I'm only doing their picks through the 3 rounds, just so I can react to the picks and see what I can dig through those selections, so I can get a little FOMO and react to those picks that came off the board. On top of that, the big story here is Shedeur Sanders. In the simulator, he keeps falling. He keeps falling in these mocks. I want to see if that happens today with the AFC West. That could happen. That could happen again. We're going to look through that as well. Keep an eye on that. Before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going through these mock drafts almost every day. We're getting you ready for the NFL draft. This is going to get you more accustomed to the player pools, get you ready for your Dynasty Fantasy Football rookie drafts. We're going to talk players. We're going to look at the draft from different angles so we can look at these players differently. Everything. Click that button. Stop missing out, but we got to dig in. We got to dig in. Remember, 3 rounds. I'm drafting as the AFC West, so I can have fun drafting these players and react to what's going on off the board. Cam Ward to the Titans. That makes sense. Travis Hunter to the Browns. Okay. Armin going to the Giants. Ashton Jeanty pulls up for the Patriots. Abdul Carter to the Jaguars. Now we got Geno Smith. Do you go Shedeur Sanders here? Because if Shedeur Sanders does not go here, does he go to the Jets? Does the Jets make that pick? I got Geno Smith. I want to add to this team. I got Mason Graham looking at me. Do I go Shedeur Sanders or Mason Graham here? What do I do with this pick? I got Will Campbell left on the board. I got some talent. If I want to go wide receiver, I could go T-Mac. He's available. I could definitely do that. Ashton Jeanty got reached on. That being said, let's go Mason Graham. I bet you Shedeur falls again. Bet you he falls. Jets go. Jets go. J.K. Campbell. J.K. Campbell's been a big riser for the media, and he's rising in a lot of these mock drafts. Tyler Warren going to the Carolina Panthers. Shamar Stewart has been a riser for PFF. Michael Williams to the Bears. Will Campbell to the 49ers. Mike Green edge to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't see Mike Green falling in this year's draft. Jalen Walker's a hell of a talent. T-Mac to the Falcons is just a fun scenario. Donnie E going up on the board. I definitely see that. We liked him early in the process. Matthew Golden getting another fast wide receiver to add to this wide receiver depth chart, considering what all we saw this offseason. Will Johnson falling this far in the draft. That's not going to happen. Someone's going to comment that. Will Johnson's not going to. Yeah, I like him too. I don't think he's going to fall that far. I'm not agreeing with this every time. We know this. It's a video game. Jahdae Barron has been climbing the board for PFF. I liked him throughout the process. I think with the depth and the juice here we have at edge and defensive line, I think I'd go that route. The big thing here is Shedeur Sanders. So it's really on the Browns. What happens here, free agency with the Giants, and then Raiders and Jets and what they want to do. And now do we have a trade-up scenario if that's going to happen, or are we going to let him slip? And now, if he slips, he's probably going here to the Browns or to the Giants. Not to the Titans. They could. Simulator does that. Simulator will double up on positions. I'm on the board with the Broncos. The thing about the Broncos is their defense is nasty. They don't have to add to it. We have a player falling to us. And I'm on default settings here for the simulator. So nothing crazy right now. I like James Pierce a lot. I feel like I draft him in every mock no matter what team I have. He is always falling. He killed the combine. I think he's going to be a monster. And on this team, like you got stud defenders right here. You got studs right there. It's really hard. I can make a decision for Grant even. I mean, I like Pierce too much. At that price, there's no way. Kenneth Grant to the Steelers. He sounds like a Steeler. I think he's more talented than 21 overall. He's more talented than that. When I look at the Chargers, I look at Luther Burden. I think that's a hell of a value. I look at Mika Ibuka. That's a hell of a value. This draft is going nuts. The simulator's going nuts after free agency. After free agency, the simulator's getting nuts. This is like, I'm on this all the time. I like Colston Loveland. I think that'd be the perfect fit. When I'm looking at this, what I'm looking at right now, that would be the perfect fit. However, we got 2 wide receivers here that we did not expect. We got Ladd McConkey. Evidently, there's something with the wide receiver position there because they added Mike Williams. So Luther Burden versus Emeka Egbuka. Who would be your pick for the Chargers here? Who do you like better? Emeka Egbuka is very technical, physical. He's got size. Luther Burden, very physical. He can stretch a little bit, but a shorter A-dot. I like them both. Let's get them the Ohio State wide receiver. Let's just do that. We got Harbaugh. He's a Big Ten guy. That kind of makes sense. Luther Burden going to the Packers. They're not letting him slip. Tyler Booker. I believe he should be a first-rounder. I think he should be ranked higher considering where you look at landing spot. Colston Loveland, just talked about him. That's a great fit for the Rams. That's a tremendous fit for the Rams. Like getting a tremendous tight end prospect, O'Marion Hampton. Bye-bye, Ray Davis. Bye-bye. And now you're looking at Cook. You may not be getting a long-term deal. You may not be the guy forever. O'Marion Hampton's a better talent. He's instantly the best running back on that team. Instantly. And they pulled the trigger to get that team better. They want to get over the hump. And tight end dried up a little bit. Wide receiver dried up a little bit. It does not make sense because we're looking at the meat and potato positions are pretty thick with talent, but it is what it is. That's a top-tier talent that can get you over the hump, especially when you're back in the draft. You're pretty good. You're based. You're good to make a sex pick. That's what that is. Malachi Starks to the Ravens. That's a tremendous pick, and he's falling in all these mocks. And I don't see that being true. Now we're looking at the Chiefs. I'm picking as the Chiefs right now. Guard, tackle, defensive line. You got Kelvin Banks. It makes it too easy. Defense, I could do that. Their defense was nasty last year. Let's go Kelvin Banks. That's a talent that shouldn't be there. Maxwell Harrison to the Eagles. Another cornerback. They went heavy cornerback last year. Second round now, Walter Nolan to the Browns. Jackson Dart to the Giants. Going cornerback to the Titans. Jaden Higgins has been rising in the PFF rankings. If you not noticed that, he's been rising. Not much has changed. He's been rising. He might go in the second round, early third. He is a day 2 guy. He's a day 2 candidate. He's a riser. That is something to note. There's more to this than just mock draft simulator, make pick, we react. They're also telling us some stuff with the rankings. And I am kind of in lockstep, maybe not to this degree, but I would not be surprised. I think he's a good wide receiver to stretch the field. He's got good size. I think this is a wide receiver to pay attention to on day 2 and where he goes in the draft so you can evaluate him and value him appropriately. Raiders are on the clock, and we had a faller, Mason Graham, to us at pick 6. Shedeur Sanders has not been selected. He is falling more and more in these rankings. He's falling more and more per PFF. I'm not doing this on purpose. Maybe with the Raiders pick, I could have selected him. But I'm also want to see how much blood we're going to get out of this turnip here. And we're getting a lot. It's bad. We got to take this turnip to the ER. It's bleeding so much. We're looking at the Raiders here. Mason Graham. What has fell to us, first off? That's the first thing to look at. Scorton's there if you want to edge. Cornerback zapped up. Cornerback got reached on a little bit last round. Trey Amos is there. I like him. I don't want to go this early. We also have Shedeur Sanders. This is where you get your contingency plan, honestly. This is where you get your contingency plan. Your backup for Geno. Your move after Geno. If you need to move on. And the Raiders want to win now, though. Pete Carroll's older. We have Tyleik Williams there. We have some talent here, defensive line. This is where you would go, Shedeur Sanders. Should I do? Here's the thing. If I'm Pete Carroll and I want to win now and I'm putting chips in with this class, I'm probably going somewhere here. But you have to ultimately know it's still Geno Smith. You got to have that debate with yourself. It's still Geno Smith. ADP is 18.1. Like, look, ADP is 18.1 for Shedeur Sanders. So people are drafting him higher, but he's falling past 18.1 for that to be true. Because people are drafting him at 2, 1, in a lot of mocks. He keeps falling. We're going to take him here. We're going to take him here. To the Raiders in the second round. Jack Betch to the Patriots. Some people love Betch. I think he's alright. I think he'll be a good role player. Tyleek Williams, I like him a lot. I think that's a great pick for the Bears. Good size. Josh Connolly getting extra talent at offensive line. Gray Zabel, good pick for the Jets. I mean, that's a first-round talent. Ravel, good cornerback prospect. I like Xavier Watts. That's one of my safeties, especially eyeing in the second round. Landon Jackson, edge to the Colts. Filling a position of need per PFF. Caleb Johnson's a riser per PFF. They're rising the ranks here for them. That is something to note. But they're late to the game. I've had them this high all along. They must have heard something. Not much has changed. Maybe they looked at his speed score, considering he's a bigger running back. He did not run a huge 40 time, but adjusted for his size, it's pretty good. He can be a feature back. We have running backs left on the board as well. We can go after. We can chase here. Alec Aomanor, I like a lot. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a great second-round selection. Crispy route runner. Can break off routes. Create separation. I think that's a guy to look at. Ran well at the combine. Looking at running back here. My man Judkins is here. I think that'd be a great fit for the Broncos. James Pierce came off the board. We had to make that selection. And I like Judkins. I have him ahead of Scadaboo big time. Like, I think Judkins is closer to Jeanty and Marion Hampton than Scadaboo is to Judkins. Let's go that. I think that's a great value. Now we're looking at the Seattle Seahawks. Swinson, edge. Carson Swissinger, linebacker. Princely going to the Packers. I like him. I've been liking him. Now we're looking at the Chargers. What do we have so far? We were looking at Colson Leveland, but we went Emeka Egbuka. Emeka Egbuka came off the board for us. Tight end is a position of need. Defensive line. We got some dudes here. Shamar Turner's right there. We can definitely do that. We got some picks here. Defensive line we can make. We got this pick and another pick. I think tight end might be there, but I also like Elijah Arroyo. He's right there. He will be in this range of the draft. Elijah Arroyo is one of my favorites. We also have a few other tight ends I like. I think a good tight end will be there at 86 for us. That being said, let's go Shamar Turner. Let's do that. I think this is a good value for the talent, and we'll make that pick. Jack Sawyer going to the Bills. He's been falling. He was a first rounder. Trevion Henderson to the Panthers, just getting some speed. They made some moves at running back, though, in free agency, so that might not be happening in real life. Alfred Collins, Jared Ivey, edge. Linebacker Demetrius Knight is a hell of a value. He's been falling in the simulator. Chiefs are up. Chiefs are up. Travis Kelce's not getting any younger. Elijah Arroyo killed it at the Senior Bowl. Good size, adjusts athleticism. Good speed to this guy. That is something this team needs. That is something I'm looking at for the Chiefs. I think that would be a great pick. I think he'd go up in Dynasty rookie drafts instantly. Trey Harris. Adding something different to this offense. I think that's a nice, sexy pick. A nice pick to make for the Eagles if you want to go a little rogue there, especially in the late second round. I think that's great value for him. Good production. Older wide receiver, but good size. And Joshua Farmer going to the Giants. I'm up now with the Chiefs. And I just went Elijah Arroyo. My defense is stout. Running back isn't really looking good right now for that team, considering the injuries and what they had last year. Kareem Hunt had to step in. We got Cam Scadaboo right there. And we're in the third round. We got talent. Scadaboo's very reliable. And one thing we've heard about this team, the coaching staff, all of them in the press conferences, they like reliability at running back. Once you fumble, your career's over. Carson Strong, I'm looking at you. You fumbled once or maybe twice. You had your moment. They tried you out. And once you messed up, it was over. Kareem Hunt stepped in and played well, though. No knock to him. But my premise is they want guys who are reliable. Scadaboo's there. They're good on defense. They're good. We can add talent. Let's go Cam Scatterboo. Let's make that a sexy option for the Chiefs. Moving on down. Jalen Milroe to the Browns. Yeah, they're the Browns. They're the Browns. Now I'm up with the Raiders here. Well, Milroe is a developmental prospect. I just don't see the Browns developing quarterbacks. And we went Mason Graham, Shedeur Sanders. Mason Graham and Shedeur Sanders. So one thing I'm thinking about is the Raiders are playing more for the now. I just don't see Pete Carroll playing more for the short term. Going down here, so we definitely got to skim the top here. We do have some good talent here that fell to us. I like Cameron Williams on the offensive line. They got a good offensive line. Cornerback is one of the position needs. I like Darren Porter. You hear me talk about him a lot. I like Kyle Kennard. I like Benjamin Morrison. Porter versus Morrison's my guy. He's my guy. I'm going to draft my guys. Let's get that together. Let's get Benjamin Morrison. I have him more closer to a first-round talent than a third-round talent. Cameron Williams has been falling. I don't think he's going to fall that far. Josiah Stewart in the third. Kyle Kennard. Jets. Norman Lott getting their defensive lineman. Jalen Noel. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a great role player with upside. A great role player with tremendous upside. 2 tackles coming off the board. Darren Porter comes off the board to the Patriots. They let him fall a little bit. Dylan Sampson going to the Texans. I mean, Joe Mixon ain't going to be a guy forever. He got hurt last year as well. So you got to get talent back there. Terrence Ferguson to the Bengals. That's a huge get. I like him a lot. He's been a riser for me throughout the process. I think him going to Joey B and company and them needing pass catchers for the long term and him developing with Joey B, I think that's a good mesh. I like Chris Paul. I think that's a good talent. I think Seattle might have already got a linebacker in this draft. Kevin Winston. That seems like a good Steelers pick, like a Steelers guy. Sebastian Castro. Solid safety in the 3rd round. So now we're with the Broncos. Judkins, Pierce. Harvey and Giddens. This is a nice spot to go running back. Middle of the 3rd round. Nice spot. Good value here. Let's look at defensive line. If it's somewhere up here, there ain't many. There ain't many. There ain't many. Alright, what else? They're looking interior offensive line. Center. 3rd round might be okay. Let's look what they got interior. We got Ratledge. We got Jared Wilson. This is our last pick. If you're going center, I might as well go with the top guy. If I'm doing that. Talent-wise, I'm not blowing more nuts at running back. I got Jordan Phillips right here. I, for some reason, went over him. I think value-wise, this is what you want to do. We want to keep that defense smoking. We got to backfill. And this is a 3rd rounder. This will add talent. This will add depth. Now we're with the Chargers. Our last pick with the Chargers here. Sexy draft so far. Mika Ibuka, defensive line. What's here at tight end? I did have a guy, but he got drafted. That was Ferguson. We got Harold Fannin to look at. Feel like we missed our boat. When I'm looking at these running backs, that could be an area that we could explore right now. And why I'm saying that is because Najee Harris, short-term contract. You always want a bunch of running backs. We had running backs get hurt last year. RJ Harvey or Giddens. I like them both. That would be a tough choice for me on the board. Very tough choice. I would take either back at this spot. I would take either back. Giddens, I guess. Giddens. Go. I had to do that to make the pick. I like them both. Giddens. I have Giddens valued a little higher. Wyatt Millen. Savion Williams. I like Wyatt Millen at tackle. I think third round is a huge value. Tackle's starting to rise up these boards in these mocks. Taz Johnson. So there's something up with the other positions. Or tackle is either messed up right now. RJ Harvey going to the Browns. Getting that plug-in after Nick Chubb leaving for free agency. Still out there. He might be done. Chiefs. Guards a position of need here. We have not attacked that yet. Ratledge is there. It's just an easy pick to make. We draft Scatterboo. We're adding talent to the offensive line. Jalen Royals. Huge pickup there. They drafted 2 wide receivers. I don't see that happening, but that's a huge pickup. Devin Neal to the Dolphins. Will Jalen Wright, you're done. Devin Neal is going to push Devin H in. Devin on Devin violence there in that backfield. Definitely saying that. Nasty mock draft here. Nasty mock draft. We had some surprises. We had Shedeur Sanders going to the Raiders in the 2nd round. I had to pull the trigger there. Almost did it in the 1st, but he came back to me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.